Have you ever been so lost you don't even know where to begin?
Yeah!
So I felt like that the other day. I was trying to throw out my trash can. Have you ever noticed a panda bear is basically just a fatter, slower zebra? I spent the entire day walking around in a daze. I couldn't figure it out. I was trying to figure out a good place to write down, create a to-do list. You know that phrase, the last straw? That has a totally different meaning if you're a cow. Because then it's like, man, that was the last straw. Now we're all going to starve. So I caught a fish for the first time ever this summer. What, do you think they were all going to be good? No, so I've been fishing like maybe 10 times in my life before. Never got anything, not even a nibble. So you'd think, like this summer, when I caught one for the first time, he would be really congratulatory. He'd be like, whoa, great job, awesome, I can't believe you caught that fish. I'm really proud of you. No, actually, everyone was pissed off. They're like, put it down, what the heck are you doing? I'm going to call the cops. I was like, okay, fine, but just for the record, there are way too many rules in this aquarium. So you might notice, like, if you saw me on arrival day, I was wearing these same clothes. I've actually been wearing them for 3.5 straight weeks. You can call me the mill dude. Where does Australia get off being called a continent? Seriously, it's smaller than Brazil and has way less rainforests. Think about it. I knew this snowman and his hands were on fire. So he stuck them inside himself. I was like, dude, that is just wrong. When I was a kid, I was scared of getting my shots. But my mom knew what to do. Stop fidgeting, she said. You're not a balloon. I heard women are attracted to intelligent men, so I started correcting them every time they're wrong to prove how smart I am. Yeah, but it's true, I'm a single guy. Like, don't get too excited, but I have a plan for that. So, I do Rubik's Cubes. Not quite like you yet, but I don't. And my plan is I take my cube and I go sit out in a public place by Chester or something, and I start solving it, wait for a cute girl to come up to me. Right? And then she'll come to me and say, like, oh, can you show me how to do that? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, but you know, it's really noisy here, really hard to focus. I better find someplace a little more private. And I know what you're wondering, like, does this work? Well, let me guarantee you, this is an absolutely foolproof plan, and it is totally going to work. Sometime soon. I hope. I would tell you what a non sequitur is, but we're out of noodles. I'm always scared that if I'm holding my nose when I sneeze, I'll blow a hole in the back of my head. I kind of think that's what happened to whales. Hard time keeping track of which of my thoughts are supposed to stay on the inside of my head and which ones I'm allowed to let slowly trickle to the outside, the way my urine does. You know, I was actually kind of disappointed by the ice cream social, not because of the ice cream was great, but halfway through the sprinklers came on. And at first I was thinking, like, what are the odds during the ice cream social the sprinklers come on? This is going to be fantastic. And then I realized, wait, they don't actually shoot out sprinkles. You know, at the end of the last session, I took a poll. I asked my kids, what's your favorite time of the day? They didn't say, you know, the classes their instructors are working so hard to prepare for them. They didn't say the activities that your beautiful activities coordinators, Rosie and Kara, are organizing. Let's hear it for Rosie and Kara. What they said was the favorite time of day was snack time. I like snack time too. I mean, it's nostalgic for me. I was practically raised on goldfish. Although the goldfish we have here are a little different than I remember. They're much much less slimy, much less wriggly as they go down. You know, when the cops finally did show up to the aquarium, they're like, "Sir, put the fish down. Put the fish down." Oh my God. "Sir, regurgitate the fish." You know, EPGY won't buy us bottled water for snack time. I don't get why, because I love water. Okay? It's like soda that doesn't even make you burp. Every time before I go out, I drink 3 or 4 glasses of water. Not because I want to stay well hydrated, but just in case I meet a bush that looks rather smug. Instead of Happy Meals, I want McDonald's to sell melancholy meals. They basically do the same thing, but you take out the toy and put in a little black diary to write all your emotions. You know, wherever they actually are, I bet Carmen Sandiego and Waldo are doing it right now. You know, I moved to a new town last year. I didn't know that many people. So it was a Saturday. I was going to try to go out and find something to do and make some new friends. Then I realized it would be much easier just to ask the friends I already have all to gain 100 pounds. I hear people say, they say, "What's your wish?" And they say, "I want to fly like a bird. I want to fly like a dragonfly." Have you ever seen those things flying around like a little 2-inch helicopter? They're way more badass than some retarded baldy. You know, I have a kind of a mean streak, but I try to keep it under control. Like the other day, I was walking around campus, I saw this little kid running to his mom and fell down flat on his face. And, like, my gut reaction is that I should point and laugh. You know, but obviously I realized, like, okay, I'm in a position of responsibility. That's a very mean thing to do. So I compromised. I just pointed silently. And a little bit later, I see this guy running around, but he's going for a run just wearing a Speedo. And I'm like, seriously, man? Did you just, like, forget to put on shorts or what? Then, a few seconds later, I realized, no, he's just European. I love running, okay? I love running. Something I picked up when I was your guys' age. Been doing it for almost 10 years now. But right when I was starting, I didn't really know what to do. I wanted some advice on what are the right shoes, what's the right way to train, so I
went to the library to get a book on running. Well, they didn't have one, so I just got a book on walking and read it really fast. But you know, one thing I always hated was the wind.
As soon as I step out the door, boom, wind right in my face. And this went on for months before I finally realized it wasn't windy, I was just that fast. I was running on the field here the other day, and this guy came up to me and said, "Hey, you have to get off the field." And I was like, "What for? I'm not going to break it." And he said, No. You have to get off the field because there's chemicals on it." I looked him straight in the eye and said, "Man, chemicals? I'm made of them." Have you ever wondered why 12 a.m. comes before 3 a.m.? 12 is a bigger number, right? Think about it. I knew this guy who was really mean. He came up to me and said, "I'm your worst nightmare." And I was like, "Really? How can you be public nudity?" I was walking across the campus the other day, I saw 11 emus run by, and I thought, that's odd. Does anybody remember what a mnemonic is? So I had this, I always forget things if I don't write them down. You know this if you live in my house. You solve a problem today, you gotta write it down before you can submit it. You want to request a special snack food, you gotta write it down before you can. If I don't see it in writing, it just doesn't stick. And I think that's why I wasn't potty trained until after I learned to read. I remember 7th grade. Just like you. Remember that time we all hung out and were nostalgic together? You know, my kids are always asking me for advice, and I tell them, think for yourself. How many times do I have to tell you, think for yourself? But that's not true. I have some advice for you. For example, never get a lobotomy. That's a no-brainer. But when they ask for advice, what they all care about is college. Like, how do I get into college? What should I know before going to college? Is college hard? Well, you know what? The canonical advice about college is they say, you don't go to college to learn this thing or that thing. You go to college to learn how to think. Well, I'm going to tell you that's not the case, okay? I didn't go to college to learn how to think. Heck, I thought about boobs every 5 minutes. But yeah, that's one thing I do remember. I'm a lot older than you guys. I'm a lot older than you guys now, 25. But I do remember what it was like to be 14, 15, 16, 17. And what I was like at that age was honestly, I was scared, you know. I was scared about what other people thought of me. And I was scared to ever really open myself up to anyone. And I was scared that I would never meet anyone who I thought could understand me. I think at that time, I thought, you know, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man isn't king. He's just misunderstood. And probably lonely. I'm not scared anymore, though. I'm not scared of anything anymore. Well, I should say I'm not scared of anything in particular. I'm actually still like a little bit scared of everything in general. I had this plan actually to become totally fearless, but I haven't started on it yet because I'm scared it might not work. But no, this is important because that was what changed when I got to college. When I went to college, I started to make some true friends. And I started to learn lots of new and interesting ideas. And I realized how much bigger the world is than I had ever understood. And I began to appreciate this universe that we share, and living in it, and laughing in it every day. And so I want you to think, can people change? Like, do you personally believe that people can change? Because if so, I want to become a dolphin.
At least then people wouldn't give me such a hard time about the fish.